Our Bluebell Railway Volume 5 DVD comprises 2 visits to the West Sussex Railway during 2009. The Bluebell Railway was the first preserved standard gauge passenger line in the world to run a public steam operated service, running its first train on the 7th of August 1960, less than 3 years after the line from East Grinstead to Lewes had been closed by British Railways. From 1994, the railway has operated from Sheffield Park through Horsted Keynes to Kingscote, a distance of 8 miles and 51 chains. Since 2003, an extension of a little over 2 miles to East Grinstead has been under construction, necessitating the removal of a landfill site through Imberhorne cutting, with work ongoing. We start the coverage at the Bluebell Railway's Branchline Gala on Saturday the 21st of February, when the trains operated were typical of those that could be found on Britain's branch lines from the 1870s through to the end of steam operation in the 1960s. Locomotives in use during the gala comprised of visiting South Eastern and Chatham Railway P-Class No.753, built in 1909 at Ashford Works and on loan from the Kent and East Sussex Railway. Support came from the railway's fleet, consisting of South Eastern and Chatham Railway 01 class No. 65, built in 1896 and rebuilt at Ashford in 1908. South Eastern and Chatham Railway C class No. 592, built in 1902 at Longhedge Works Battersea. London, Brighton and South Coast Railway A1 class No. 672 Fenchurch, built in 1872 at Brighton Works. Making its last appearance in its Great Western Railway green livery, Dukedog class No. 9017 Earl of Berkeley, built in 1938 at Swindon Works, and British Railways Standard Class 4 mixed traffic tank engine No. 80151, built in 1957 at Brighton Works. The programme starts at Horsted Keynes with the arrival of G.W.R Dukedog No. 9017 Earl of Berkeley at the head of the 10 AM Sheffield Park to Kingscote service. Taking the train to Kingscote, we alight to see Earl of Berkeley running back into the up platform to couple up to its stop, forming an 11 AM service to Sheffield Park. After travelling back to Sheffield Park, we see the arrival of the 12:43 PM service from Kingscote, hauled by BR Standard Class 4 mixed traffic 264 tank, No. 80151.
Good afternoon, passengers on platform 1, please catch well back from the edge as the train draws into the platform. Please keep well back from the edge of platform 1 as the train draws in.
Upon arrival at Horsted Keynes with the 1:55 p.m. service from Kingscote, carrier No. 672 Fenchurch has uncoupled from its passenger stock and is seen running into the sidings to pick up goods wagons to form a mixed train which is due for departure later in the afternoon. Meanwhile, South Eastern and Chatham Railway 01 class No. 65 departs from Horsted Keynes with the 2 p.m. Sheffield Park to Kingscote service. Approaching Leamland Bridge at the head of the 3 p.m. Kingscote to Sheffield Park service, No. 65 heads towards Horsted Keynes. Setting off with the 3:52 p.m. mixed train, carrier tank No. 672 Fenchurch heads for Sheffield Park. coasting downgrade into Horsted Keynes platforms 4 and 5, Dukedog number 9017 Earl of Berkeley returns from Kingscote with the 4:05 p.m. train for Sheffield Park. South Eastern and Chatham Railway's 060 power double heads the 4:10 p.m. Sheffield Park to Kingscote service, with C class number 592 piloting O1 class number 65 away from Horsted Keynes. Bringing our coverage of the railway's Branchline Gala to a close, SECRP class 060 tank number 753 departs from Horsted Keynes with the 4:45 p.m. Sheffield Park to Kingscote service. A second visit to the railway during 2009 took in the Giants of Steam Gala on the 23rd, 24th and 25th of October, when the larger resident engines took centre stage, with Bullied Pacific No. 34059 Sir Archibald Sinclair making its debut gala appearance, being the first rebuilt Battle of Britain to steam in preservation. The supporting cast consisted of G.W.R Dukedog No. 9017 Earl of Berkeley, recently outshopped in BR unlined black livery, Southern Railway's U-Class 460 No. 1638, London, Brighton and South Coast Railway A1 Class No. 672 Fenchurch, and British Railway Standard Class 4 Mixed Traffic Tank Engine No. 80151. Coverage of the gala starts on the 24th of October at Horsted Keynes, where Earl of Berkeley, having run light engine from Sheffield Park, is seen drawn into platforms 4 and 5 prior to setting back into the downyard to pick up a rake of engineers' wagons. Once coupled up to the engineers' wagons, 9017 draws out of the yard and into platforms 4 and 5.
That walk in now.
please, from edge platforms 4 and 5. Stay clear, please, from edge platforms 4 and 5. You'll find there are 5 locomotives in steam. The goods train is the train at 10:35. The goods train parts 10:35 for Sheffield Park.
Having run round its wagons and coupled up, 9017 sets off with the 10:35 AM engineers train to Sheffield Park. Cautiously getting underway, Maunsell U-Class 260 number 1638 heads for Sheffield Park with 11:17 AM service from Horsted Keynes. Dropping into Sheffield Park, we watch the departure of the 11:32 AM engineers train to Kingscote, followed by 9017 Earl of Berkeley. Back at Horsted Keynes, the engineers train is seen again as Earl of Berkeley passes through the station with the 1:52 p.m. Sheffield Park to Kingscote working. Continuing under Leamland Bridge, the engineer's train takes the single line section towards Kingscote. Between service trains, A1 Class Terrier Tank No.672 Fenchurch carries out brake van rides from the Ardenley branch spur through the station to the northern station limits, before returning to platform 2. Running into the station off the Ardenley branch spur, Fenchurch passes through platform 2 with another brake van shuttle. Returning to Sheffield Park, we see rebuilt Battle of Britain class Pacific No.34059 Sir Archibald Sinclair, recently restored from Barry scrapyard condition, departing with 3 PM service to Kingscote. Catching the brake van shuttle at Horsted Keynes, we see the limit of the railway's operation along the Ardenley spur. Emerging from Leamland Bridge, 80151 returns to Horsted Keynes with the 4:26 PM service from Kingscote. Arriving at Horsted Keynes, 1638 draws to a halt in platform 3 with the 4:30 PM service from Sheffield Park. Platform duties completed, 1638 sets off for Kingscote. The next day, Sunday the 25th of October, we see 1638 approaching Horsted House Farm Crossing at the head of the 9:45 AM service from Sheffield Park. Negotiating the reverse curves on the approach to Horsted House Farm Crossing, number 80151 heads for Kingscote with 11 AM service from Sheffield Park. Heading the 11:32 AM Sheffield Park to Kingscote passenger service, 9017 Earl of Berkeley passes Horsted House Farm Crossing. Briefly held at the Horsted Keynes down outer home signal, 80151 restarts the 12:05 p.m. service from Kingscote to pass over Horsted House Farm Crossing before traversing the curves on the approach to the home signal. Passing Horsted Keynes advanced starter signal on the approach to Horsted House Farm Crossing, number 1638 heads for Kingscote with the 12:10 p.m. service from Sheffield Park. Trundling towards the Horsted Keynes down home signal, Earl of Berkeley gets the road into platform 4 with the 12:40 p.m. service from Kingscote. Carrying Golden Arrow regalia, Bullied Battle of Britain No.34059 Sir Archibald Sinclair passes Horsted House Farm Crossing at the head of the 12:43 p.m. Sheffield Park to Kingscote service. relocating to West Hoathly. 34059, named after the wartime Secretary of State for Air, Sir Archibald Sinclair, is seen running down to Sharpthorne Tunnel with the 1:52 p.m. service from Kingscote. Exiting Sharpthorne Tunnel, the longest on a UK Heritage Railway at 731 yards, and passing the site of West Hoathly Station, 9017 Earl of Berkeley heads for Kingscote with the 1:52 p.m. service from Sheffield Park. The station site at West Hoathly was used for storage of sleepers and ballast for the extension to East Grinstead, seen here as 9017 continues towards Newcombe Bridge. Working back to Sheffield Park, 80151 passes the site of West Hoathly Station before dropping down into Sharpthorne Tunnel with the 2:25 p.m. service from Kingscote. Tackling the 1 in 75 gradient to exit the tunnel, 1638 heads for Kingscote with the 2:27 p.m. service from Sheffield Park. As the ascent eases to 1 in 233 past the foot crossing at West Hoathly. Our final view of the railway's 2009 Giants of Steam Gala is of the 3 p.m. departure from Sheffield Park, heading for Kingscote, hauled by 34059 Sir Archibald Sinclair, bringing our 2009 Bluebell Railway DVD to a close.